The Seattle, Oregon, Idaho, and Washington State Wine Awards are proud to highlight our 2022 tasting panel and their expertise on evaluating nearly 1,000 wines, mead, and ciders from the bountiful vineyards and orchards of the Pacific Northwest.
Hi, my name is Victoria Antilla. I am thrilled to be part of the tasting panel.
Each member of the tasting panel brings their unique palate, experience, and perspective to this single-blind evaluation format.
I was a server and a bartender for 20 years and then kind of started working my way into studying wine so that I could work in nicer restaurants. In about 2008, I was managing at Chandler's Crab House and had been the server with the most wine knowledge. And when I started managing, the manager who'd been working with the program was on their way out, so it fell into my lap. And I really got serious about my wine education and was able to take that wine list from a list that was primarily focused in California here in the late 90s to a list that was primarily focused in Washington. As the years went on, I became a GM. I worked my way into being the wine director for the entire company. So for about 7 years, I was evaluating wines for the restaurant. I've tasted hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of wines and pursued as much education and spent as much time out in the field in the vineyard as possible.
Each tasting team works both collectively and independently while sharing dialogue and commentary about wine styles, varietal characteristics, and winemaking.
At my table, I was really lucky. A lot of super experienced people at the table I was at, and we were all being as objective as possible with all of the wines. We really had some amazing levels of quality across the board. Very few wines that every one of us wouldn't have been happy to drink a glass of. We talked about our favorites kind of at the end. We discussed things a little bit as we went, but then we kind of went back and talked about, did you get a little of this in that? Did you get a little of this in that? What kind of oak did you think happened here? But really trying to be objective and fair and recognize the quality in the glass.
The Seattle Wine Awards process is unique in its integrity and thoroughness. This is only possible with the superior leadership and support from our wine team, service team, and tasting panelists.
He's so careful with the blind. He really works hard to make sure that the bottles themselves stay behind the scenes. If a bottle needs to come out on the floor, the label is thoroughly hidden. There are no hints dropped about, some luxury producer here or that there's a sleeper there. Keeps it really, really close to the vest, which, as somebody who really wants these wines judged fairly, so that the consumer understands the quality in Washington, I really appreciate.
Thanks for supporting our fantastic regional producers, and cheers to the best in Pacific Northwest wine and cider.